The next wave of Nurgle Death Guard releases are here.
Spiky bits.
Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. Rob Baer with you again today with a fair and honest review of the new Blightlord Terminators kit from Games Workshop. This is a 5-model kit for $60 US. Same as last week, we saw the Blightshroud bodyguards come out. Same deal, except for there's 3 models for $60, both on 40 mil round bases, both Terminators and such. These guys have a little bit, I guess, more robust weaponry and bits options in here. I guess there's 64 different components that come in this kit, whereas the Death Shroud are a little bit more limited in what they come with because, you know, they're pretty much stuck with the Man Reapers, you know, and they're posing, I guess. So a little bit different, but a little bit kind of the same, of course. Great options for Death Guard. Competitive wise, you know, it's hard to say who's going to take what. There's some obvious choices out there, but these guys are very robust. They're pointed well. They've got some good selling points. Of course, you get, 5 to the box, so that's always looking fresh. They look way cooler than anything you could convert from the existing plastic Terminator kits, which came out in 2005 for Chaos. So, you know, 12 years later, we're definitely seeing a lot more innovation on Games Workshop's part, which is pretty awesome. Here you can kind of see basically what you get in the kit. Like I said, you're going to get 5 miniatures. You're going to have the option for 3 of their upgrade weapons in the kit itself. And that's the Plague Spewer, the Reaper autocannon, or the Flail of Corruption. And that one you have to give up both your weapons for in here. It does come with 5 right-handed combi bolters with all the accoutrement to make them whichever combi version you want, which is really cool, and we'll show you that here in a second. There is also a Blight Launcher option as well. You get 1 in the kit. You also have the option for a Bale Sword and the Bubonic or Bubonic axe right here. We'll just say bubonic because I don't know what that word is. I'm not a wordologist, but I don't know how to say that. So there it is. So let's open it up, take a look. I was checking these guys out, kind of digging it. Last time you saw when I was looking at the Death Shroud themselves, this is going to be a 2 sprue kit right here. I wasn't really like feeling it until I really got close and started seeing some of the detail that was in there, and I was really amazed and taken aback at just how detailed they were. They're like all little mini Mortarions. Is that going to be the case for this kit? Well, let's find out as we take our closer look at the components inside. So first off, you're going to get the instructions on how to build the 5 base, you know, torsos and legs, and then of course from there you can customize them. You're going to see here that, like the Primaris Marines before them, they are, and perhaps I guess the Death Shroud, they are a little bit more complicated to put together. You're going to have like this torso, but then a torso in a torso, and you kind of have to put the head inside of this torso. Nothing new per se, but it's a little bit more detailed than kind of what we're expecting, I suppose. A 2-part leg kind of detail that goes together there, and then you'll see just going down the line 1 of each, and some of them have 2 different head options as well. I think overall there's 8 different variant heads in the kit, which give you some unique opportunities to do some conversions. Once you get to this point, you can see the overall torso and leg assemblies right here, and then we go to the special weapons themselves. And like I said, remember, you've got the Plague Spewer, you've got the Blight Launcher, you've got the Reaper autocannon, and then of course the Flail of Corruption. They're going to show you how to do all that. Right here you can see the combi weapon construction, how it all goes together. You've got the base, and then you can put the other half of the combi weapon, or you can choose, you know, a Malta, Flamer, Plasma, or whatever you want. And there's 4 different looking bolters right there to kind of pick from. And if you want to go with the upgrade weapon, they're going to show you where the upgrade weapon goes in each one. Like there's your opportunity to put a Blight Launcher. Each guy basically has the different one. There, right there, you can take the Reaper autocannon. Over here, you can take the Plague Flail for this guy, and that's pretty much it. Then it gets to the weapon options section themselves, and just kind of breaking it down, you know, real quick. These guys are 38 points each, which seems pretty good for what they do. Special rules-wise, they do have the disgustingly resilient, so that's pretty neat to see. So they are going to be, you know, trying to shrug off some of those wounds or the damage on a 5 or a 6. They can teleport straight built in. They do have Cataphractii armor, which is going to give them a 4-up and vulnerable. For 38 points, it seems pretty solid. Now you can kick in just your standard combi bolter, which is going to be a 6-point upgrade, I believe. Maybe it's a 2-point. Either way, when you put the Baer sword onto here, which I kind of think is the way to go at neg 3 armor piercing and 1 damage, even though, and you can reroll wound rolls of 1, so it's got like a faux rend ability to it. That combi bolter with the Baer sword is going to clock in at 46 points per model, which I think is pretty good for their stat line. 2 wounds, 2 up save, 4 up invulnerable, reroll 5s or 6s. These guys are incredibly resilient and have a myriad of battlefield options. They don't just have to protect characters, you know, like the bodyguard. So I think overall they're going to probably not get as much as attention as maybe the Death Shroud, but I think usefulness-wise, these guys definitely excel and are very useful in a Death Guard army. It's just figuring out what that use is for you. And they might not fit into competitive army lists, but remember, at the end of the day, sometimes it isn't always about being competitive. Now, one thing I noticed looking at both of these sprues, and I'll put them both in the frame here just so you can see, is you don't get 4 options to take both the Plague sword, or excuse me, the Baer sword and the axe. There's only, I believe, you see a sword here, you see 2 axes right there, and then we go over to this one here, you're going to see 1 more sword, and you're going to see 1 more axe, and 1 more sword. So that's 3 and 3 of each on the day, with 2 swords being on this one, and 1 axe, and 2 axes and 1 sword being on the other sprue. What does that mean? Well, it means you're gonna have to mix and match. However, there is a combi weapon for each one, and then of course there is the upgrade weapon. And you can kind of see how they go together, just looking close here, and then you also see the little combi bits to go on there as well. Now, you do get the combi bolter ends, but here's the thing is, let's take a look here. So I've got 1. We know there's 4 combi bolter ends, so I'm not even going to count those. But I see 1 plasma end. I see what looks to be a flamer end. And this is the Havoc, which I'll show you in a second because that thing's pretty cool looking. You've got a flamer end here and a melta end. So that's really interesting, is the fact that while you do have bolter ends, I'm only seeing 1 plasma end, 1, 2, 3 bolters, 4 bolters. I'm seeing 4 bolter ends, but I'm only seeing 1 melta, 1 plasma, and 1 flamer end. So you have to mix and match your upgrades as far as that goes. So here is your Plague Spewer bits right here, looking fresh. And you can tell these are definitely just as detailed. Let's zoom in a little bit on these. These are definitely just as detailed as the Death Guard. There's awesome, crazy looking pitting in here. You've got all sorts of Nurgly icons, fly icons, all sorts of stuff on the shoulder pads that go up top there. Weapon-wise, they're looking great. Look at all this pitting. Look at all this, crazy cuts in the tabards right there. All these gross intestines and little wiring and things. Really highly detailed chainmail armor right there. Very good looking stuff. The teeth on the axes, very well done. The heads look great. Very well detailed. So I'm stoked. Look at all the skulls in the top of that catapult. There's interior detail right there. I mean, that's stuff that we didn't see on those kits that came out in 2005 for Space Marine Terminators. All right, over here, you can see a little bit better, way more detailed. You've got pitting, you've got rust, all sorts of junk on these axes, crazy tentacles. Here's some sort of crazy chain bits. There you can see your plasma combi front bit, barrels to your autocannon left, right, and the front set of barrels right there, the loader hopper. Crazy, more detailed. Let's look on the insides here, see what's in there. More little jaws of teeth and things like that. So overall, the kit is very fresh. Tons of detail for days. Just as detailed as perhaps the Death Shroud box. But as far as options go, you're gonna be a little short. So just be aware of that. There's your Plague Flail thing bits as well too, left and right. So, I mean, overall, if this is your thing, I definitely say pick it up. But remember, it's going to be a little hard to kind of figure out where exactly these are going to fit into some of the more competitive builds for the Nurgle Death Guard. But they don't seem like wherever you put them, you'll get some sort of use out of them, as long as you don't sink a bunch of needless points into them. They seem like they can definitely do some work for sure, depending on what your specific needs are for them. So that's it. That's our breakdown and look at the new Blightlord Terminator $60 kit from Games Workshop for the new Death Guard Codex. Now, if you like these features here on this channel, make sure you subscribe to us and turn on notifications so you can be the very first to like and comment on all of our features that we post up here on the channel. And head on over to the longwar.net. That's the home of the 8th edition battle reports for exclusive content, early access videos, and army list downloads. Become a veteran of the Long War today.